Welcome to ArtBase. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create inventory reports in ArtBase. So there are two different kinds of inventory reports that you can generate, and you'll see them both in the inventory menu at the top of your screen. If you go down to reports, you'll see there are inventory reports and accounting reports. So accounting reports is going to be covered in another video, but essentially it's based on sales, payables, and receivables. So they're really specific to accounting. Inventory reports can be based on any found set that you want to gather in your inventory file. So as creative as you can get with your searches, that's as creative as you can get with generating reports. So the first thing you do when you want to make a report is create a found set. Now, be sure to run the training video on finding or creating found sets to get into the details of that, but I'm going to do a simple find. So I'm going to click Find. I'm going to enter my information for my search. I'm going to find all of this artist that I have in the gallery. I'm going to press Enter on my keyboard. This will then take me to my table view, and at this point I can just go up to my inventory menu and go to my reports and choose inventory reports. Okay, so here's your reporting screen. You'll see on the left-hand side you have a list of all the different kinds of reports you can generate, and you just click on the printer icon to print any of these. Then you have options on the right-hand side to make changes to the kind of report that you want. So I'm going to just generate an inventory report real quick. If you just click the printer icon, it takes you to the print screen. So you'll see this is a sample report. You've got images if you want them. You don't have to have them. You have information, you have pricing if you want them, and totals at the bottom. If there are any numbers on the report, it will total them at the end. If you want to print this out, you just hit print. If you want to create a PDF, you just hit the PDF button. And once you've saved a PDF, you can then, of course, email it to someone. Okay, so if I click the Continue button, it will take me out of this screen, and I can come back and make changes to it. So on the right-hand side, here are my options. I can change the report name at the top of the report. I can choose what currency to print. So if I choose another currency, when I go back and print that report, you'll see it's going to print both currencies. It will also total both currencies at the bottom. When I come back, I can also sort this report by different things. It's going to sort by inventory number right now, but maybe I want it sorted alphabetically by artist and title. You can also do by date, by size, which is essentially by dimensions. You can also subtotal your report. So sort by just puts them in order, but subtotal actually gives you a subtotal for each of these different things. So you could, for example, subtotal it by the status of the piece. When you come back to the report, you'll see that all the available items are together. It shows you how many available, and then it will give you a total based on that, that group. And so for each of my statuses, I have a total. And then, of course, a grand total at the bottom, at the end of your report. Okay. You can also clear this if you changed your mind and you don't want a subtotal. You can clear either of these fields. You can choose to print with an image or without. So that's your report without an image. You can choose to print it with location. So printing with location just prints the location underneath each artwork. Okay, so let's look at these this pricing field up here. So you can choose up to 4 different prices for any report, and essentially you can put them in any order that you want. So let's just start out without any prices. When I come in here, you see there are no prices. If I click these fields off, I can choose the order that I want these prices to print in. So if I choose retail and then framed and then cost, you'll see that they print in that order. There's retail, then framed, then cost. Okay. Coming down the row here, you have other types of reports you can generate. So these are, and a few of them sound like accounting reports, but essentially it's just the ability to print more accounting type information on your inventory report. To actually go and generate accounting reports, you want to go up here to the right hand top corner and choose Go to Accounting Reports. That will take you over there, and you can print more detailed accounting reports based on sales. But you can also generate what's called a sales report here, which essentially just prints sales information for any of the artworks that may have it on there. Okay. I'm going to come back and do a larger search. I'm going to search on this one particular artist so I can get a larger group, and then show you around some of the other inventory reports. So you can generate what's called a purchase report. A purchase report essentially shows you all of the purchase details about that piece, including who you bought it from, the purchase date, all the details about the purchase, the cost, and the retail price. The cost report shows you your additional costs, basically other monies you spent on this piece. So you have the cost of the piece here. You have underneath each item, you have a breakdown of all of the costs that you've spent on this piece, including fabrication costs. You can see a breakdown of the cost that the artist paid versus what you paid, and the total of additional costs. So that's going to give a total of these two. And finally, your total cost here. So that's going to add all of this together. There's a price history report, which allows you to see a history of your prices. There's a parts report, which allows you to see your parts broken up. So if you've basically got a piece that's being assembled and it's got multiple parts coming from different locations, it will print those parts here. Let's come back to the inventory screen and just review where that is located. So under Location and Details, you've got a Parts tab here, and you can enter all of your item parts in here. That's where that prints from. Okay, coming back to the inventory reports, we also have a report with condition with no prices on it, and this will essentially print your condition on the right-hand side. Expected profit report. So this is going to print your total cost, which includes the additional cost of the piece, so fabrication costs, retail, and an expected profit. So this is not based on a sold for price. This is only based on retail, so what you can make a judgment based on what you've entered as the cost and what you've entered as retail, what you might make on that piece. And finally, a payable and partner inventory report. So again, this is based on maybe things that haven't sold yet, and you can come in here and have a look. It's got a breakdown of who your partners or your payables are. So that could be the artist that you owe, or it could be a partner that you own this piece with. And it's going to show you your retail price, the costs, and the expected net. Now, once again, these two kinds of reports are for you to be able to generate a report and see your information maybe before it sells, so you can kind of get an estimate of it. But actually, once you've sold things and once you actually owe people money, you really want to go to the accounting reports area. So run that video on that. And finally, once you have your found set together, so you can always see at the top here what the found set is and how many records are in your on your report, you can always export those for Excel. So if these reports don't suit you, you can generate your own reports in Excel, and you can do that by clicking this button here. Export your 40 records, yes. Tells you to double click on the fields you want to export. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's going to ask you what you want to name your worksheet, and it's going to show you a list of all of the fields in your whole inventory file. So you can generate a report based on any of these fields that you want. Okay. If you want it to appear on the Excel spreadsheet, you make sure that it's listed on the right-hand side. So you just double-click on the field on the left. It moves it over to the right-hand side. You can now move these fields up and down to put them in the order that you want them in. Then when you hit Export, it will generate an Excel spreadsheet. It will save it right on your desktop, and it will open it in Excel for you. So at this point, you can rearrange it and do anything you want with it. Okay, that's generating an inventory report in ArtBase.